Anyways, let's talk Scream, bro. Let's talk
Let's
Scream.
do it.
Let's do it, man. All right, I want to go to you first because I know you got some stuff to say. Get it off your chest, man. What'd you think overall?
I really really liked it. I thought that it like straddles the line of what we've seen, and they're talking about it in the movie, but like what we've seen with these new like Halloween and The Force Awakens and these movies that kind of are not necessarily remakes, but they're sequels. So they're called like I think they call them in the movie requels.
Prequel.
Um, and but here's the thing though. Uh, for me, that what it does so well is it straddles that line of making a movie, making a sequel, and reintroducing characters that we've known for 25 years. But at the same time, they're there. The reason they're there makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And for
Yeah,
me, that's the hardest thing to do. Where in other movies it's not necessarily that they don't find that balance, and I think this movie did, and overall it hits all the marks. It's quick, it's witty, it's meta. Fuck it, I mean it's super meta, it's
hmm
and but it's not like beating you over the head with it, like it's
Yeah.
very
I
the
think four had that
commentary.
problem. Four was a little
Yeah,
Yeah.
too crazy with it.
With that opening
yeah,
specifically.
yeah,
Yeah. That was a little too much.
yeah, and so they do a good job of everything that's meta. It's like that's the way it has to be, right? Like what's the girl's name, the twin? So she had to explain the situation, so that made sense. And then even obviously this is spoiler conversation that we're having,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
even the her with the scene with Jamie Kennedy watching the scene of
hmm
Halloween, telling her to turn around, and
Yeah.
and she's watching the scene of him telling the Jamie Lee Curtis to turn around, and then the killer's behind her. Like that was amazing, and that's
It's like
such
a
low hanging fruit.
Screamception.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like low hanging fruit, right? Like if I
Right, right.
if you think about it, it's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. But it works so well, and that's what this movie at its purest, strongest form. I think that's what it does. It takes stuff that works from the originals, from the original and from the sequels, and it expands on it and it makes it their own in this movie. And I think that someone that hadn't seen the originals could watch this movie and be like, "Holy crap! I want to see the original now.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
see what this is about." Where it might not be the case with Scream Four, um, which is the sequel that closely or more closely can resemble this movie, right? Because Scream, the first three are like part of a trilogy, and
Yeah.
four stands kind of a little bit on its own, and then this stands on its own in its own way too. So, I feel like this to cut it short, I feel like this movie is what Scream Four wanted to be,
That's a
Yeah.
but
good
it
way to
kind of
put it.
didn't hit the mark.
That's a good way to put it. And you're right. Like to me too, this movie felt like the original. Like it made me. It's funny because I walked out of the theater because I didn't really do a rewatch before this because I've seen all these movies a million times. But
Right,
at
right.
walking out of the theater, I was like, you know what? I really want to watch the original now. It's been a while, and I think a lot of that goes to the directors, man. I think they did a good job of I guess paying homage, but also making it their own. Because I really like
Yeah.
these guys. I thought Ready or Not was pretty underrated. I enjoyed that
Mm.
movie, and I could tell they put their craft into this while at the same time it felt like they were paying homage. So they did a good job of balancing that, man. I thought these guys were fucking incredible, man. So yeah, dude, I loved it. I loved it. Felt like the original. I thought the overall direction was really well, and brutality too, man. Brutality of the kills was. I felt like this was the most brutal one. I think
Yeah.
four had some pretty brutal moments, but
Mm.
I think this is definitely the most brutal one, and that's what I wanted to see. Because doing our fan film, and I'm not going to talk about our fan film. I'm just saying like we wanted to approach our Ghostface with a little more brutality because he's never really been
Right.
super brutal in the movies. So I'm glad that they did that in this. Like, holy shit, dude, he's fucking breaking legs and the quick stabs, like boom, 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 boom. We've
Yeah.
never really seen that before. That was fucking sick. And the stabs in the throat and the fucking double stab ripping up. Like it was good. It was good brutality, and that's what I
Yeah.
wanted from Ghostface. So I
But it's not
loved.
gratuitous, right? Like it makes
I didn't
sense in
think
the
it
context of
was.
the movie. Yeah.
I think
It
it
makes
was.
sense in the context.
I think the neck thing with what's his name, Wes. the knife slowly going in. I don't think that was gratuitous. I thought it was really well done. What's up, man? Lewis, give me your thoughts, dude. I haven't heard you talk about it yet.
Yeah, no, I loved it. I told Rupert, I think to me it's either number two or tied with number two for number two.
Yeah.
Like I really liked four, but it wasn't great. So like I thought this one was that and more. And like I agree with you too. Like I thought the kills were more gruesome, but they didn't show a lot. Like they did it with the tone and the action, and the sound effects more than actually just showing you like a bunch of guts, because or did that. And I don't know, I can watch that scene and not get shivers. And but watching when Dewey died or Wes, it just feels so much, I don't know, it feels more realistic, I guess, or just more weird. And I thought they did a great job at it. As far as the villains go, that again, I don't know if I can put them, I would have to watch the other ones to remember how the other ones did, but they were pretty good. And I thought their motive was pretty great. Like it just made sense in today's world.
Yeah.
And it was believable. I was telling Rupert, I was like, I think the only coincidence that I can think of was the buying of the house, but that came after. So like I couldn't really think of a coincidence, you know what I mean, that wouldn't happen like in real life. So
like in Scream 3, cool. Like in Scream 3, where he could fucking impersonate anybody's voice. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Come on. That's one thing that I really hate about Scream 3. But
that's like jumping the shark adjacent, right?
Yeah, it's big time.
I don't know if it's necessarily, completely jumping the shark, like Halloween Resurrections necessarily, but it's but it's definitely like right there. It's like right at the borderline of jumping the shark for sure.
Yeah. I loved what they did with the legacy characters too, the trio. They didn't feel shoehorned into me, and I think they really served a good purpose. But I kind of like how they took a back seat and let the new cast do their thing, and I thought it was well balanced out. I've seen people bitching because it's like, oh man, this movie's not, I wanted to see Sidney Prescott the whole movie. It's like, dude, her time is done, dude. Like she's been through her shit. She's been through her shit. Leave her the fuck alone. I liked how they brought her back only because Dewey died. And she's like, dude, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going to end this shit. And I love that fucking experience, dude. Like she's a badass in this movie. I fucking love what they did with Sidney.
A filmmaker kind of gripe about that. So I agree with you. I think that Dewey getting involved is perfect. It makes sense when and how and what motivates him to get involved. Gail obviously can't resist coming back. That's right on character with her. But with Sidney, I understand her coming back, but it's the filmmaker side of me is like, it almost felt like she got there 5 seconds after Dewey died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way it was edited.
Yeah.
And this movie from a technical perspective is, if not better than all the Scream movies, even part one, at worst is, just as good as part one as far as technical direction with camera and editing and stuff like that, cinematography. But in this particular instance, I was like, wait a second. They don't show the passage of time. You have Gail freaking out outside. Then it's Gail inside, kind of like staring into the distance. And then Sidney walks in.
Yeah.
They're in California. She's in Chicago. That's 6-8 hours to get there.
Wait, Sidney was in Chicago?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Didn't she say she was in Chicago?
I didn't hear anything.
Somewhere else. Hold on.
I don't know where she was. I never heard
she
Chicago. Or if she was, I missed it. But I never heard a location. I know she wasn't in Woodsboro, but who knows?
I think they show you, actually. I think they show you the title.
Did they show? Oh, I didn't see
bottom,
that.
Yeah, I think. I don't know why Chicago's in my head then, but I'm pretty sure it said Chicago. So that's what I mean. Like that's a gripe that I have with it, where it's like you can show the passage of time with one or two things, and then Sidney can walk. You know what I mean? That's just more a technical side that nobody else is gonna notice, if I'm being honest. So
she was just kind of there.
But she just kind of shows up. Like it's just like, wait, what?
Well, I do like how she said, "I came as soon as I heard," but But yeah, no, it's from a technical standpoint. I love the fact that this movie didn't have that stupid. I can't stand in Scream 4 that stupid, dreamy, glossy filter they used for the whole
You know, I
movie.
never noticed. Okay, so as a DP, I could tell you what it was. It was one or the other, but it's
It's
probably
got to be a
a
color
black
correcting thing,
chromis.
right?
No. So it's a filter that you put on the lens, and it's either a black promise or a warm promise,
Hmm.
made by Tiffin. I didn't notice it when I first saw
Really?
the movie, but I wasn't a filmmaker then. So
Oh,
I saw
okay.
that movie in whatever 2000. What year was that? 2011.
11.
Yeah, because I was in Amsterdam. I saw that movie in Amsterdam. But watching it now, I notice it. Like I'm like, holy shit! I didn't realize it had a filter on it like that. Like
And
it
it's the
just feels
whole
like a
fucking
loop.
movie, dude. Like, I get it if it was like
Yeah,
a little dream sequence or flashback, but the whole fucking movie, like, it bothers me. Bothers me. But
yeah. I don't know why
that's
they
just
did
being
that.
nitpicky though. I'm just being
Yeah,
nitpicky.
yeah, yeah. I don't know why they did that. I don't think it looks that terrible, but it's just jarring, because
Yeah.
no other the Scream
Yeah.
movies have it.
Exactly. It sticks out like a sore thumb. But I do agree with
Mm.
you, Lewis, on the killers. I like the killers and their motives. I didn't kind of at first, but the more I sat back and I watched it a second time, I was like, okay, I really see where they're coming from. And I like the approach they took because you're right. It does make sense in today's world with all this, dude. Holy shit, with all this toxic fandom going on anymore with Marvel, DC, Star Wars, basically any fucking thing that has a fan base, dude. It's like, it's just hell these days, man. So I,
Yeah,
uh, I think it made sense, and I felt like they did try a little too hard with the what you call it, red herrings. Because honestly, dude, no bullshit. I suspected Amber from the get go. I was like, okay, this chick's a killer. She's got to be the killer. And then they tried to go out of their way to like make it sound like everybody else was the killer, and she's kind of barely in the movie in certain scenes. And I never really, I kind of suspected Richie at times, but there was a chunk of the film where I wasn't really like, shit, maybe are they really going to do the love interest again? I don't think. It's kind of one of those. I wasn't so sure it could go either way, but of course, when he stabs Sam at the end, it's like, okay, he is the fucking killer. All right, cool. But I think Jack Quaid, I think they did a really good job. Both of them, they were great.
mm.
And I love
Yeah.
that. I love the third act, dude. That kitchen shit, fucking Sydney and Gail just beating the shit out of Amber, like that whole sequence, and then Richie and Sam, like I thought it was really well edited together, man. Being an editor myself, I love the back and forth. I'm a fan of when stuff's going on, chaos, and you're just cutting back and forth, and it's all
Yeah.
like happening so fast, but it never really loses its momentum. So I loved it, man. Third act was fun. I'd rank this up there,
Yeah. No,
with
for
the
sure.
third acts pretty high.
Oh, I mean, this third act might be the best if you think about it, right? Like,
I can't put it past one, but it'd probably be two for me. Probably two for me.
as far as from I think from a story perspective, it's probably number two. But I feel like from a technical perspective, it has to be number one, right? I mean, for God's sake, there's
Yeah, I see.
Amber's
Yeah,
on
from a technical
fire.
standpoint, yeah, yeah, that was dope. That was
Like
dope.
you're doing CGI with Billy, which by the way, I lost my damn mind when I saw Billy in the movie theater. When
Yeah,
I
when
went
she
to
fucking
see,
leaned up and we saw him, dude, I was like, holy shit.
bro. So
That was great.
That
so
was.
none that I didn't see it coming. Zero idea that Billy Loomis was gonna fucking show up. Like I was like, holy shit, that threw me for a loop.
Yeah, that was a
And
good
then
swerve. That was a good swerve.
yeah, and then they do it in the third act. He's there giving her pointers and things like that. So I thought that
It,
was great.
and then he gives her that when he points to the knife, and then he's like, gives her that fucking smirk, dude. I love that shit. But I liked it a lot better the second time. I loved it the first time, but I liked it a lot better the second time.
Yeah, no, it's really well done, man. From a craft perspective, it's really well done.
It is, dude. And I don't
Um,
get that. I don't get the hate right now. There's a lot of people hating on it. Like,
really.
I'm in a few Scream groups on Facebook, and just some of the shit that people say, man. But I mean, you really can't take them seriously when they say certain things. But
So I will say
it's
this is that people oftentimes um they think that they know the material better than the people that are in charge of making it. And in
yeah,
some cases they're correct, right? I don't want to lump everybody in a box and say, although everybody that says XYZ is wrong. I don't want to do that. But in
sure.
most cases they're wrong. Like in most cases, like if you pulled a random fan, out to the side and you said, all right, explain structure to me, explain Chekhov's gun, explain anything, they won't know.
You know.
It won't know. It's just the truth. You know why? Because you have to either go to get a formal education or study on your own, one or the other, right? And so they don't understand these things. So if I just grabbed a random person from the street that says they know how to make this movie better and told them to make the movie, it would be a jumbled mess because they don't know how structure works. And we've had 100 and something years of trial and error to figure it out, you know? So I don't take people like that seriously. Now, with someone who is trained like yourself, my brother to a certain degree, and they have opinions and things like that, like those people I take more seriously. But when people who are just negative because they didn't get what they wanted, that's hard for me to validate, you know?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because this Woodsboro film horror group on Facebook, it's pretty big. I think the creators of Scream made it, or somebody made it within Hollywood, but I saw a post on there today, I believe, and it said something along the lines of, how would you have written the new Scream movie? And dude, if you just read some of the comments, man, it kind of makes sense with what you're saying of like a lot of these fans, they say a certain like log line. Well, I would have had so and so do this, so and so do this, so and so do this. And then you start thinking of like, well, actually that wouldn't have worked because so and so structure wise, it just wouldn't make sense. So a lot of these fans are just, you're right, dude. They just think of certain scenarios, but they don't really think of the logistics that could go into it. And it's like, yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
You want to know what happens when you just throw a bunch of stuff at the wall that people want? Rise of Skywalker.
I can't disagree with you, bro.
That's
exactly
true.
what happens when you just say, "Oh, all these cool things should happen," and then boom, sure. See, to me, that's a perfect example of
It
that's
is.
exactly what happens when you just let someone just write everything that's cool and put it in a movie with no thought as to how it connects to what's already been established, no thought at how motivation, how it makes sense motivation wise and things like that. It's hard for me to take people seriously, you know? It's like, you have to understand that if you plant something, you have to pay it off. You have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise it doesn't work, you know? And that's what this movie does really well. Everything is paid off, right? Like the motivations are paid off. Things don't happen easy, right? Like Sydney doesn't get a phone call and says, "Okay, cool, I'm on my way." No, Dewey has to die. Her friend of 40 years, you know, even before, people forget this, but even before Sydney,
she knew as a child.
Even before the events of the first movie, she knew Dewey. So she was
because she was friends with her sister since kids or something.
Yeah, Tatum was her best friend since they were
that's
children, you know. So they have a history that even extends beyond the first movie or before the first movie. And so it makes sense for her to show up. It makes sense for Gail. Like these are motivated moves from the character that's already been set up. But I read somewhere that they wanted Sydney to be the killer. And it's just like, how
see that's fucking stupid. And the same thing with like Sydney dying. I don't ever think they should kill Sydney. Like, just she's been through so much shit, right, man.
If they do it right, if the killer legitimately outsmarts her, I'm okay with it.
Because it'd have to be it'd have to be worth it, man.
Why has Sydney survived 5 movies now?
And please, I hope they wouldn't do some Halloween Resurrection bullshit like they did with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. Sydney has survived because she outthinks the people she's fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think Scream 2 is the only time they got the drop on her for real.
With who? Mickey and Miss Loomis?
Yeah. I think that's the only time that she didn't have an out, you know? But in all the other movies, she had an out. Remember Scream 3, she was wearing a bulletproof vest.
Yep.
And
Scream 4, she took a knife to the stomach twice, but surprisingly she didn't die. But, she still, Jill's doing her stupid fucking monologue and Sydney charges up the defibrillator. So it's like, dude, you're right. She's smart,
like,
man.
I just have one word. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
If I love Scream 4 for anything, I love it for that.
That was cool.
I just have one word. Can I just say something? He's like, what? You're gonna beg for your life? No, clear.
Yeah.
I was like,
fucking perfect, dude.
Especially because she pops up into frame behind her. She goes clear. Oh, that's like, to me, top 10 favorite Scream moments.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Maybe top 5 actually.
But speaking of which, I wanna say something. Lewis earlier said something about what did you say about Dewey dying? Like you really felt bad or something? I was gonna say you said something similar to that.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
I was like that when Dewey died, like I felt like, you know, shivery, like I could feel it.
Yeah,
like as opposed to like the gruesome deaths in Scream 4, where like you see all the guts and stuff, and it's just like, yeah, but do I really care? Like, you know, I think the sound effects and audio of how they did it when Dewey died like made it just worse without seeing too much.
Oh, and he sold it. David Arquette sold it too.
Huh? Well, David Arquette was amazing, but Amber looks at him right in his eyes and says, "It's an honor."
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, that was perfect,
bro.
But no, yeah, no. I wanted to say like the Dewey's death hit me pretty not hard, but you know, it's kind of sad to see him go. But this might sound weird, but you know, the death that got me the most in this movie, I felt so fucking bad for Judy. Like this woman is like dying to save her son, desperate, dude. Good fucking person. And it's like the way she goes out, I was like, damn, that is rough, bro. That one got me. That one got me.
Limit scores, though.
Yeah, she did.
Well, was that the first day death?
No, in the Scream franchise?
No, it's not. That's not, because who died in the van?
The principal. The principal died during
the principal. Oh, and Randy got in Scream 2. Randy
died during, yeah.
Yeah, okay. No.
Well, I will say, as far as they out in the fucking right out in the open, dude. Way out in the opening, fucking front of everybody. Car could have been driving by, seeing this shit get stabbed. So I think as far as that, out in the open, probably, but in the daytime in general, no.
Yeah,
I think it was. I'll have to look. It's the first death out in the open like that during the day, broad daylight. That was crazy.
Yeah, because I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, and just like the whole rest of the scene plays out. Wes is making like dinner, getting everything ready. It's like, dude, your mom's. And he goes to the front door, and I thought it was like, oh my god, he's gonna open the door and see your body. Like, holy shit, dude! And then he just shuts the door. That was a pretty cool scene, man. As far as like suspenseful, and then all the fake outs with the doors and shit.
Lewis teed that up for me. He was like, Rupert. He's like, before you go watch the movie, just know that there's a scene where they because I always explain to Lewis is that our job as a filmmaker is to be like a teapot in a kettle, like a kettle on the stove, right? Like you're building until you release, right? And so the key is to keep the audience on the string as long as possible. That's how you build tension. So I've had this conversation with Lewis many times, and so he told me, he's like, you know those things you always talk about? It happens in the movie, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I'm not gonna tell you when or where or whatever, but you're gonna know when you see it. And I was like, okay. And then when that was playing out, I was like, oh shit, this is what Lewis was talking about. Oh, this is really good, because they did such a good job of just holding your attention for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, how long is that scene? Like, it has to be like between 5 and 8 minutes, easy, maybe 10.
Yeah. It got to the point where he kept opening all these doors, and I was like, all right, it's gonna be the next one. No, all right, it's got to be the next one. It's got to be there. It's like, holy shit, dude. And it was really well done, man. Really well crafted. And I don't think we've had a sequence like that in a Scream movie in a while. Did 4 or 3 have one?
No.
Not that I can remember.
No, I gotta watch all of them again, but I don't think any of them have something. The technical craft with the music, with the directing, with the blocking, to me, that's my favorite sequence in the movie, just because I know, like, just the thought process of doing it and executing it. It's just, it's high level, you know. It's it's as good as it gets, you know.
I like these directors, man. I've been watching a lot of interviews behind the scenes and shit with them, and they seem like really cool guys, man. I like what they're doing, and if they do make a sequel, I hope they bring them back for it, because I like what they did with this one.
And I'll say this for anyone that's watching this that's a filmmaker aspiring to be. Those guys started on YouTube for 10 years before they got their big break. You know, they were making videos, short films, and things like that on YouTube, and then finally got their chance. So, you know, that goes to show you if you stay committed to your craft, you can get to where you need to get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to stay at it, man. A lot of people get disheartened and give up, or transition into other things. But yeah, that's crazy, man. So, okay, here's a question: if they do make another Scream, do they bring Sydney back again and Gail?
So they've set it up where they don't have to. They've also set it up where Gail or Sydney could be the first death in the next movie.
I could see that.
And if it were me, that's what I would do.
Look,
I would not Sydney, but I'd probably go.
At the end of at the when they get all rescued at the end, like I don't know why I had the feeling I'm like Sydney's gonna die. Sydney's gonna die. Sydney's gonna die. I don't know.
You mean
why.
like right there, or you mean like
like
oh, we need to save her. We need to save her.
or whatever. Like she get in the what's it called, in the ambulance or something, and then she just fucking gets like night. I don't know. I just got that feeling. So
shit.
If Scream 6 comes out and that's the first death, I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, like a big, glorious.
Like it just continues on.
Like an opening kill.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that would be amazing.
Like a big opening sequence.
Cool? And this is just the writer and me thinking, but like piggybacking off what Lewis said, imagine elevator pitch Scream 6 or Scream 2 2024, whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Like the next Scream movie.
Scream 2, that would really confuse everybody.
Oh, dude. It can't be Scream 2. It has
to be Scream
2024.
So Steve in one of the PAs, I made a Facebook post earlier today in one of the Scream groups, just sharing the trailer that I made. Just, every now and then I'll reshare the trailer just to get more viewers on it. He commented on it. He was like, he said, watch the next movie be called Scream Legacy. It's like, well, if they do, I'll just be proud that we did it first. So fuck it,
Well, they at some point say Legacy in the movie.
Yeah, they say it. They say it a lot in the movie. A couple.
Yeah, this is something
2 or 3 times.
Legacy, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, what's funny? What's funny, man, is in our film, which we wrote and made before this one was even a thing. Obviously, I had no fucking clue what the script was.
I don't think anybody knew.
Yeah, no, I didn't know any leaks or anything like that. I never looked for any, and I didn't know the script. But in our fucking fan film, there's a scene where Anthony's character asks Omar, the other cop, he's like, what about the Rileys? Are they still in town? Dewey and Gail. And Omar says, I think Gail got an anchor job in New York and they moved. And then sure enough, in this movie, Gail's a fucking anchor in New York. It's like, wow, that's fucking huge coincidence.
That's crazy.
Dude.
Well, the thing is that, like, all right. So if you're in the TV industry, what's the number one market in the world? New York.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like,
it's just like.
That's what I was gonna say. Like from a writing standpoint, I had a feeling like, okay, it's been 20 years. What could Gail be doing now? Let's make a little mention of her. Okay, she's probably an anchor now, probably in New York. I mean, it's just common sense, but obviously that's why they did the same thing. But it's just kind of funny,
No, you can. It's okay. Don't be humble. Just say, hey, you guys can't think. You guys think like me.
I did it first. Let's give us a call after this fan comes, and we'll make Scream 6. Fuck it. Yeah. But anyways, back to pitch meeting. Hit us with
it. All right, pitch meeting. All right. Piggybacking off what Lewis said, because I don't want to take all the credit for it. We begin at the end of Scream 5 or Scream 2022. And Sydney's in the ambulance. She's being transported to wherever she's gonna go. And in the ambulance is Stu. Big drama show ensues. Chase sequence, crash. The ambulance flips over. Chase sequence, all this crazy nonsense.
No H2O, right?
Listen.
Type ending. All right,
Stu gets the better of Sid, kills her. Right. That's a big opening sequence for this Scream movie. And the movie goes on. We know one half of the Scream killers. We know Stu is one of them. We don't know what the other one. And we do it like in Scream 1. Was it Scream 1? Yeah. Where you can tell, there's 2 people, right? Scream 1 is where there's 2 people, right?
They do it in 2 as well.
Yeah. So where it's obvious it's two people, so we do that. So you know there's another killer, so you still keep the whodunit type thing. But then the motivation at the end of the movie is that Billy ruined his life, so he goes after his child. Bro, the movie writes itself.
That could be something.
Okay. I was like,
That could be
let me
something.
So
go
you,
after.
even though you kill Sydney at the beginning, there's still motivation for Stu to continue with Sam because Billy ruined his life.
Yeah.
What if there's 3 killers?
3 killers is too many though, bro. Like
I think it
there's
is too many too.
6 or
Yeah.
7 main characters at any given
That's
time. Like
true.
3 killers, that's half the fucking cast.
But you know what's crazy is now with the Scream movies, people expect 2 killers. It's like there's always been 2 killers except for one fucking
Except
movie. It's like
for 3, yeah.
I
Scream
was
3.
I was thinking, what if they do Sydney as the opening kill,
Mm-hmm.
like they traditionally do though, like the traditional opening kills.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like a couple years later or something. Sydney's
Yeah, she gets
yeah,
the call, stuff like that, and it's still Stu who kills her.
yeah.
I mean, that's cool. That works.
Hey man, I'm not against Stu coming back. If they found a good way to do it, when it made sense, then
I think
fuck it.
everybody would be on board with Sydney dying if it's
If it's
Stu that
Stu,
does it.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was about to say.
that makes sense. And also, there's an
By
Easter
dropping
egg
a
in
TV
this.
on the face. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
yeah, I know what he's about to say. Go.
Yeah,
There's
sorry.
the Kirby thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. So that's cool. I mean, you could always bring her back into the mix somehow.
Here's the thing, though. Hayden Panettiere is going through a lot of like personal things in her
Is
life.
she?
Yeah.
I haven't heard from
Unfortunately,
her in years. I don't know what she's doing.
yeah,
So
she broke up with Vladimir Klitschko, and then her relationship that her next relationship was trash, and she's going through a lot. But she's coming back to acting. She's talked about it, like she's ready to come
perfect
back to
timing, man.
acting. So
Perfect
it would
timing.
be cool. It would be cool. It just sucks because I started reading up. I hadn't heard from her in a while, so I started in preparation for this. I was reading up on her, and I realized, and that's where I saw like she's been going through a lot of personal stuff.
Well,
That's why she's been away.
I heard they gave the guys permission in this new one to use her because that picture's there in the movie of
Mm-hmm.
her. So I heard they're like she was cool with it.
Yeah,
But
she was in a special thanks. Yeah, like I said, she's trying to come back.
put on your writing hat real quick.
All right.
If you were to bring Kirby back, how do you integrate her into with the new cast? Like if Sam comes back and she's the main character, if Jenna Ortega comes back, Mindy and Chad come back.
So there's two things, right?
Well, and
It's
also
either,
hold on, and also how do you? Because everyone Kirby was with in the 4th movie is pretty much
Is
dead. So it's
dead.
like,
Yeah.
what would she serve to this new cast?
well, here's the thing. Kirby and Sam are a year apart in age.
Yeah,
So they were in high school at the same time, you know. So there could be some kind of connection there. There's only 2 ways you do it. You either do her as an opening kill,
see, I don't know if
Kirby.
I'd want that.
I wouldn't want that. That's one option. The other option is that you find a way to connect them, where they knew each other and they could reconnect somehow.
Yeah,
It could be like Sam could be seeking professional help, right? Like for mental health, like see a shrink and they bump into each other.
yeah, that'd be good. Because I
Yeah.
don't know
Like
if I'd
they
want to
come
do the
out.
whole. Yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do the whole like, oh, let's go see a previous survivor. They just did that with Dewey. Like, why would you go do that with
Yeah,
Kirby?
no. I
I,
think
I
they could
like your
do it
idea
like
though.
that.
The group thing would be cool.
She goes see a shrink. She comes out. They bump into each other. They're like, hey, like, and then you want to grab a coffee or something, and then that's how they're looped back into each other's lives.
Yeah.
And then through that, you realize that they knew each other, which makes sense that they as Woodsboro High, like it's a small town. It makes sense that they would have know each other from high school because they're really close in age. I think she would be a year older. Kirby would be a year older than Sam, or maybe a
Yeah,
year or two.
because well, Scream 4 was 10. Sam said Scream 4 was in 2011, so that's 10 years before. So Kirby was in high school. She's been out of high school for 10 years. So
But
I
Sam
don't.
is 25.
Yeah, okay. So she is 25. So yeah,
Sam's
you're probably
25,
right.
26.
They're probably about the
Yeah.
same age. Yeah. Okay.
So you got to remember, right? Sam is the same age as Scream. because
Yeah.
her mom was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
pregnant in
right.
Scream 1.
That's right.
So Sam is 25. 10 years from your high school reunion is 28, right? 27 at the earliest. So Kirby is a year or two older than Sam. I was
Dude.
happy that the twins were alive at the end of the movie.
Yeah, me too. I liked it. I figured Chad was gonna die because it looked like he was fucking dying on the ground. But
that did not look good for Chad. Let me tell you.
yeah, like when she's rolling Mindy out on the stretcher, it's like, okay, cool, she lived. I don't think she got it that bad, anyways. And then she pans over to Chad. I'm like, oh shit, the brother fucking lived. That's cool. Because they're cool characters to bring back, you know.
Yeah. My top 5 scene in the movie was when Chad was about to get laid, and he's like, I don't know, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Dude, I was dying.
Because I'm still not certain that you're not the killer or something.
Dude, that was rogue. Dude,
I thought Amber's reveal was fucking cool. Like, I'm not a fucking killer. Yeah, I know you're not. Bam. Like,
well, that was dude. Isn't that one of the best reveals though?
That was a fucking sick reveal.
Movies?
I think so.
You just I'm not the killer. I know you're not. Oh shit.
Billy's was good. Stu's was, I mean, she just bumped into Stu. I mean, surprise, didn't
Stu was whatever, yeah.
Romans was pretty.
Yeah, that was cool. He was surprised.
Yeah. Romans was okay.
Yeah.
Mickey's
about
was
Scream 3 is though.
Yeah, Mickey and Mrs. Loomis was cool because she came out of the doorway. You know who clue she was, but yeah, Amber's was legit, man. That was fucking cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
But
yeah. No,
yeah,
I mean,
man.
overall, I think we can all agree that the movie was done. It did the series that we know and love justice. You know,
and that's the thing, dude. That's the thing is, I don't think any movie. I know we've talked about this before with Tula. Like, I don't think any of the 5 movies are bad. There's a lot I don't like about 3 and 4, but I think they're all in a roundabout way pretty damn. They all have a lot of good things about them. I love this franchise.
Enjoyable.
Yeah,
they're at least enjoyable, and you're not yelling at the TV like this doesn't make sense. You know, like whereas Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, whatever movie you want to horror franchise, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, they all have movies in their sequels that are just terrible, just awful movies. And Scream doesn't have that. So next time I talk to somebody, I'm going to say Scream is, like Mike likes to say, Tula, pound for pound, the greatest horror franchise ever.
Well, let's wrap this up, man. Any you got any closing remarks? You pretty much said it a while ago.
5 out of 5. That's what I give it. You know why specifically? Like, if this movie didn't have to deal with a legacy and friends and all these things that you have to deal with when you're making the 5th installment in a horror franchise, especially a horror franchise like Scream.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I would give it like a 3.5 or a 4 out of 5. But because it had to deal with these heavy expectations and all this, you know, world that existed before it, and it stayed true to tone and character and motivations and just true to the world, I give it a 5 out of 5 because it could have very easily fallen on its face, and it did.
It could have been a fucking disaster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're right, man.
I agree.
So real quick before we sign off, I'm gonna do a separate video of my own rankings, but let me get y'all to. I'll start with you, Rupert. Quick rankings. Rank all the movies real quick.
1, 5, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah, see, that's
pretty
exactly
much about mine. Yeah,
that's pretty much about mine. Honestly, that's exactly mine. I don't want to put it past the first one, but the second one, I love this one, man. I just enjoy it, dude.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. I can't wait to see it again.
It's a lot better than I thought it was. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's a lot better than I thought it was, but I still put this one ahead of it.
Yeah, it's kind of tied. Like, I love 2. I love the new one, and I love 2, man. You know, but 4 and 3 are definitely, 3's always at the bottom for me, and then 4's above that. There's a lot of stuff I like about 4 and 3, though. I mean, they're not. I don't think they're total shit movies, but I do hate the voice changer in 3, and I hate the fact that Roman can somehow eradicate his pulse because she checks his fucking pulse, man. Unless you just didn't check his pulse right. He faked his death, which you can do, but She checks his pulse, bro. Come on, man. What's up with that?
I Scream 4 feels more like a Scream movie than Scream 3 does.
Yeah,
And that's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Scream 3 feels like
I agree.
something, it feels like it's adjacent. You know, it feels like it's kind of like a movie with Scream characters in it. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a Scream movie, where Scream 4 to me feels like a Scream movie. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I do love what's Princess Leia's real name?
Carrie Fisher with that cameo.
Carrie Fisher in Scream 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah.
good cameo. I do
I
love
was up
that.
for Princess Leia, but who gets it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
One
funny,
who
dude.
sleeps with George Lucas.
Yeah,
Oh
that was
man.
great.
All
So
right, y'all.
that I loved it. But
Yeah, me too, man. All right, y'all. This has been fun, man. I appreciate y'all joining me. We'll do this again. I want to do this a lot more.